Hey, everybody, we're doing our behind the scenes a little bit early. We've got a show that comes on after us now here in the studio. So rather than broadcasting behind the scenes after our show, we've got to hustle out of here and make room for Stacy and his sports talk radio. So Rex and I are going to work on behind the scenes
Yeah,
ahead
Rex,
of time.
not Dan.
Working on doing behind the scenes before we go on the air, but it's hard because we're not really in the groove yet. So anyway, it's Saturday morning. A couple of things in our early part of the broadcast will be to talk about what's happening in the South Carolina Writers Association. We got a couple of different events coming up. And today's episode is on the hero's journey, which is something that is pretty consistent over time.
Yes.
We'll start with the original hero's journey, right? Way back in Greek mythology. But I don't think we'll linger too much on that because we're still seeing modern day hero's journey stories. So.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It's a pattern that mankind has fallen into before it was identified. So, I mean, the analysis comes after something that we innately do anyway.
Yeah, and we've already got a sort of an attraction to it as just human storytellers.
That's what Joseph Campbell always said, though, is, identifying mythology is identifying human psyche. Freud was into that, too. That's why half of his things are named after mythological characters.
Right. Oedipus complex.
Oedipus complex, Electric complex.
Icarus.
Yeah, that sort of stuff.
So when we think of the structure of the hero's journey, there's a whole lot of variation to it. And I was kind of surprised. I was going through and looking for topics or examples because To Kill a Mockingbird kept coming up again and again and again.
As a hero's
journey story for Scout.
For Scouts.
And I kept thinking, don't you have to go away? Isn't there an actual journey associated with it? Doesn't that require that somebody actually go on a journey?
Well, she is going on a journey. She ages, right? Takes place over a year or two.
But it's all in our same hometown, right?
Yeah, I don't think you have to necessarily do that.
I'm not sure. I thought
she discovers the unknown country inside her own hometown.
So yes, I guess you could loosely apply it, or I think maybe the character arc that we see from Scout is probably why people think of her as having been on a hero's journey.
The world inside her thing is different from what it is, especially, remember her aunt. She wants to, towards the end, she wants to invite her friend over who's poor,
right?
And her aunt refuses because that boy is trash.
Yeah.
And she'd never seen it along those lines.
Yeah. So I can see that the idea that the worldview changes. So there's a couple of, we're going to talk about this on it when we get on the air, but there's two types of heroes' journeys. One of them is the quest, which is they've been tasked with something specific they have to do. So think Frodo the Hobbit, and then the other is this. Voyage forward and return, so that when you return, things look less than they were before. And that's sort of the Wizard of Oz story, right? Coming back to Kansas and not seeing Kansas as black and white anymore, or not seeing it as boring anymore, right? Because there's no place like home.
Sepia tone, not black and white.
So maybe Scout's journey, as far as a hero's journey is concerned, is one of those. Once you unsee it, once you see it,
that's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're thinking about. When we're thinking about the hero's journey,
we're really thinking about physically moving from one place to the next. So anyway, that's
we're talking about something like Frodo.
We're going to talk about the hero's journey. We're going to go through just the entire hero's journey just today, because beginning next week, we're going to start looking into the heroine's journey for the month of March and Women's History Month. So that's your behind the scenes. That's what's going on. We're glad to see you with us. Glad to have you with us. And, tune into 100.7 The Point and enjoy the show. It should be a good time. See you in a bit.